After waiting patiently for several months, let's get the IQUNIX L80 Cosmic Traveler out the box. Before we get started on this one, if you're interested in buying this keyboard or anything from the IQUNIX website, then check out the affiliate links in the description below, where you'll find a link for the IQUNIX website, and you can also just use the discount code KEYFACE at checkout to get you 5% discount. So after being distracted for a fairly long time by some other great keyboards, it's time to return to one of my favorite brands, IQUNIX, and one of my favorite and kind of one of the original designs of IQUNIX keyboards, the L80. The L80 line was the third keyboard I ever bought back in early 2020, or more than 35 keyboards ago if you like, and I bought the L80 Cosmic Traveler more recently just to see what the difference is, if any, and also because this one's got cherry stabilizers whereas the last one had co-star stabilizers, so I wanted to check out the difference there. In this video I'm going to try something different. I usually run through the whole specifications in my sort of first impressions and stock typing test videos. I'm going to move away from doing that as it lengthens the videos kind of unnecessarily. What I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to cover some of the highlights and lowlights, if you like, of the specifications of the keyboard, which may sort of help you guys in making your decision in terms of buying this keyboard. So first we'll just touch on the layout. This is the L80, so 80% with 83 keys. So this is basically 4 keys smaller than a TKL keyboard, and it's smashed down into this compact layout, if you like. So you pretty much keep all of the functionality of a full-size keyboard apart from the number pad. As we've come to expect with most keyboards these days, this one is a hot-swappable keyboard. For anyone new to the hobby, hot-swappable means that you can remove and replace the switches without any kind of disassembly or desoldering, whereas on a non-hot-swappable keyboard and PCB, the terminals on the switches are actually soldered into place, so you have to desolder to get those switches out. Something that's less of a given on keyboards, especially budget keyboards, is the orientation of the PCB and the orientation of the switches. This one is south-facing, which means the switches go in the south-facing orientation with the LED facing down, meaning there should be no interference with any keycaps of any profile, including cherry keycaps. On north-facing keyboards, cherry keycaps will actually bottom out on the top housing of the keycap instead of bottoming out as they should do, which means that you won't get the proper sound and feel from the switches. One of the real good things about IQUNIX keyboards, and one of their big selling points, is that they've got wireless capabilities. They have Trimode Connect and seamless switch. Wireless is certainly not a given on keyboards these days. A lot of manufacturers are going down the road of losing the hardware for wireless capability, so as they can keep keyboards cheap but keep the quality of them up, which is a really good strategy. I really like it. Like Keychron keyboards do this with the V series. Really good keyboards, but I do sometimes miss that wireless capability. In short, Trimode Connect means that you can connect your keyboard to your device using one of 3 methods. First is via a USB-C cable, second is via a 2.4 GHz wireless dongle, and third is via Bluetooth wireless. Seamless switch is when you are paired to several devices using Bluetooth mode, and perhaps even with the USB dongle in another one. You first toggle the switch at the back of the keyboard into wireless mode, and then by using the function 1, 2 and 3 keys, you can go through the 1, 2 and 3 connections on Bluetooth mode, and then by using function +4, you then go into 2.4 GHz wireless mode. So if you did have a dongle in a PC and you were paired to 3 other devices by Bluetooth, you can switch between the 4 of them just using those function 1, 2, 3, 4 combos. Complementing the wireless is 4000 mAh of battery life. This is a really good sized battery. You'll get plenty of lifetime out of the batteries in RGB mode, and you'll get just ridiculous battery life if you don't use the RGB. On the underside of the keyboard, you have the 4 rubber pads, and then you have 2 sets of feet. That gives you 3 options in terms of the typing angle. This particular keyboard has Cherry plate mount stabilizers. Most of IQUNIX's keyboards have Co-Star plate mount stabilizers. Those stabilizers get a really bad rap unnecessarily because they're actually more often than not better than Cherry plate mount stabilizers when they're just pre-lubed. I opted for Cherry pinks on this one, which are basically silent cherry reds, so it's like a light silent linear switch, and I actually got them on this keyboard to show you just how bad they are, in my opinion anyway, by comparison to when I've modded this keyboard in the next video when I'll have a normal set of linear switches in there. It's cheating really, keyboard catfishing if you like. I ordered this keyboard because I knew it came with the Co-Star stabilizers, which are normally not very good in IQUNIX keyboards, and I also ordered it with the Cherry switches, which are also not very good in IQUNIX keyboards because they don't come pre-lubed. So I've basically ordered it as bad as possible in its stock configuration just to show you how good you can make this keyboard with some mods. And on that note, let's hear the stock sound test. So let's finish on my thoughts on this one. I'm not going to go through the RGB, the battery life, the wireless connectivity, because all of that does exactly what it says on the tin. I'm just going to focus on the typing experience. Certain IQUNIX keyboards you can get an out-of-the-box beast that needs very little doing to it. One of those would be a great option for someone that doesn't want to do any modding. The models that I'm talking about are any of IQUNIX's keyboards that come with Co-Star stabilizers, and also TTC switches are a really good option because the Co-Star stabilizers come pre-lubed and perform really good out of the box, and the TTC switches also come factory lubed. This particular model represents one of the worst performing out of the box models you can get from IQUNIX, primarily because of the Cherry stabilizers and the switches that I've gone for. The Cherry stabs have very little pre-lube, which is why they don't sound very good. The Cherry pinks have no pre-lube and just a ridiculous amount of spring ping. And that's in addition to them just not sounding or feeling very nice because they're silent. That said, this will suit modders down to the ground as it's still a very good keyboard, it's just very stock. You will see massive improvements by lubing the switches and stabilizers only, which requires no disassembly. A bit of a downer on this one is that these keyboards aren't made to be taken apart like several other keyboards are these days. It's not like it's going to be a massive problem to take this keyboard apart, but with screws concealed under stickers and rubber feet, and the fact that there are clips holding the case together, it means it was clearly not the intention of IQUNIX for us to take these things apart. In my next video, that's exactly what I'm going to do though. I'll take it apart, check out what the case dampening is like, I'll do the PE foam mod, I'll do the tape mod, I'll sort out the stabilizers, I'll stick some new switches in there which I'll lube myself, and I'll put a new set of keycaps on it. It's going to be dope. But for you guys, when should and when should you not buy this particular keyboard? Well, first off, you probably shouldn't buy it if you're going to do what I'm going to do to it. The keyboard costs $189, and that's a lot of money if you're going to do what I'm doing, which is basically to treat it like a bare bone. I'm going to get rid of the switches, get rid of the keycaps, and probably not use them. And there are better value DIY kits if you're going to do that sort of build. If you're looking for a keyboard that you just want to be awesome out of the box, this probably also isn't the keyboard for you, because a lot of IQUNIX's other keyboards, like I said before, the ones with Co-Star stabilizers and the TTC switches, they'll be much better than this one out of the box. But you probably should have this keyboard on your list if you're looking to get into modding and you're going to start with topside stuff only. Topside stuff being the mods that you can do without any disassembly. So you can take out the switches because they're hot swap, you can take those apart and you can lube them. You can also get the stabilizers out with any disassembly because they're plate mount stabilizers, which is basically hot swap stabilizers if you like. And I really do think the keyboard is great if you fit into that last box. IQUNIX keyboards are super unique looking and they're also super unique to use. And by doing those entry level mods on this particular version, you'll see massive improvements and you'll get a real sense of achievement from that, which is a great way to get into the modding and building game if you like. So check out the affiliate links below if you do want to buy this keyboard or anything from the IQUNIX website, and I think that's about it. I hope you found this useful and I'll catch you in the next one.